Recording has started.
So we'll go over this first set of problems here. Number one, we're asked to convert 8 feet into inches. Now, most of us know how to do that without a conversion factor, but we're going to use it anyway. So we put the 8 feet over 1. We're going to put feet on bottom, inches on top. 1 foot is 12 inches. The feet cancel out. 8 times 12 inches is 96 inches, and 1 times 1 is 1. So 96 inches divided by 1 is just 96 inches. For number two, 1,082 square centimeters going into square meters. We've got meters, decimeters, and centimeters. Going from centimeters to meters is 2 spots to the left. But since it's squared, each spot on the chart is 2 decimal places. So 2 spots to the left becomes 4 decimal places to the left. There isn't a decimal point, so it's at the end of the number. So we move 1, 2, 3, 4. That is 0.1082 meters squared. Number three, 34,560 cubic inches. Put that over 1. And we are getting rid of cubic inches, so we'll put those on bottom here. Going to cubic feet. 1 cubic foot. Now, this is where you got to remember your conversions. 1 foot is 12 inches. 1 cubic foot is 12 cubed, or 1,728 cubic inches. Cubic inches cancel out. 34,560 times 1 cubic foot is 34,560 cubic feet. 1 times 1728 is 1728. We divide that out. 34,560 cubic feet divided by 1728 is 20. That is 20 cubic feet. 8 questions on the first 3. Our next 4. We have 144 inches going into yards. We do 144 inches over 1. We're getting rid of inches. Some of you might know the direct conversion from inches to yards. There are 36 inches in a yard. But for argument's sake, let's say we don't know it, but we can go from inches to feet. And then from there, we can go from feet into yards. 1 foot was 12 inches. 1 yard is 3 feet. So the feet cancel out. 144 times 1 yard is 144 yards. 1 times 12 times 3 is 36. 144 divided by 36 is 4 yards. Next, we have 13 square yards going into square feet. I'll put my square yards on bottom so they cancel out. Square feet on top. 1 square yard is 9 square feet. 1 yard is 3 feet. 1 square yard is 3 squared, or 9 square feet. So the square yards cancel out. 13 times 9 is 117 square feet. 1 times 1 is 1. So it's just 117. And finally, 540 cubic feet. Going into cubic yards. We're going to put cubic feet on bottom so they cancel out. Cubic yards on top. 1 yard is 3 feet. 1 cubic yard is 3 cubed, or 27 cubic feet. Cubic feet cancel out. 540 times 1 cubic yard. 540 cubic yards. 1 times 27 is 27. 540 cubic yards divided by 27 is 20. Any questions on any of those? Well, we're going to try some more for you. Convert 3,000 meters into kilometers. Convert 4 meters squared into millimeters squared. Convert 3 acres square feet. $50,000 cubic millimeters into cubic centimeters. Let's do 9 cubic meters into cubic centimeters. And we'll do 240 gallons in cubic feet. Do those. We'll come back to the over them in just a couple minutes. Let's take a look and see how you're doing so far here. So for number 7, we're going from meters to kilometers. On the chart, that's 3 spots to the left. It is just regular meters and kilometers, so our decimal point just goes 3 spots to the left. 1, 2, 3. 3,000 meters is just 3 kilometers. Number 8, we're 4 meters squared going to millimeters squared. Well, from meters to millimeters is 3 spots to the right on the chart. But since it's squared, each spot on the chart is 2 decimal places. So 3 spots on the chart is 6 decimal places. Our decimal point's at the end of the number, so we move it 6 spots, having to fill in zeros. Four meters squared is 4 millimeters squared. Number 9, 3 acres going into square feet. We put 3 acres over 1. Acres on bottom, so they cancel out. 1 acre is 43,560 square feet. So the acres cancel out. That's going to be 3 times 43,560, 130,680. Square feet, 1 times 1 is 1, so that is just 130,680 square feet. Number 11, we're going from 50,000 millimeters cubed to centimeters cubed. From millimeters to centimeters is 1 spot to the left on the chart, but since they're cubed, each spot on the chart is 3 decimal places. So my decimal point starts out at the end, it goes 3 spots to the left, 1, 2, 3. 50,000 millimeters cubed is just 50 centimeters cubed. For number 12, we're going the other direction from 9 meters cubed to centimeters cubed. From meters to centimeters is 2 spots to the right on the chart. But again, since they're cubed, each spot is 3 decimal places. So 2 spots on the chart is 6 decimal places. Our decimal point starts at the end of the number because it's not there. So we 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, filling in zeros. 9 meters cubed is 9 million centimeters cubed. I'm not going to confuse that one with this up here. This was from meters squared to millimeters squared. It was 3 spots on the chart, but since it was squared, it was 2 decimal places for every spot on the chart. So it was still 6 decimal places, but it's still a slightly different conversion. Meters to millimeters squared rather than meters cubed to centimeters cubed. Number 13, 240 gallons going into cubic feet. I'll put gallons on bottom, cubic feet on top. 1 cubic foot is about 7.5 gallons. So our gallons cancel out. 240 times 1 cubic foot is 240 cubic feet. 1 times 7.5 is 7.5. The 240 cubic feet divided by 7.5 is 32. 32 The 240 gallons is 32 cubic feet. Any questions on any of those? Well, let's have you try a few more. So 8 gallons is how many pints? We're going to go from 4 gallons into cubic inches. We'll go from 3 cubic feet into the cubic inches. Tons into pounds. Liters to milliliters, and finally, pounds into ounces. We'll go over those in just a couple minutes. Let's take a look, see how you're doing on these. So 8 gallons going into pints. We start out with the 8 gallons over 1. We're getting rid of gallons, so we're going to put them on bottom. We're going to go from gallons into quarts. 1 gallon is 4 quarts. And then we will go from quarts into pints. 1 quart is 2 pints. So now we're in pints. 8 times 4 is 32, times 2 pints is 64 pints. On bottom, 1 times 1 times 1 is 1, so this is just 64 pints. For the number 14 here, we have the 4 gallons going into cubic inches. We're going to put gallons on bottom. 1 gallon is approximately 231 cubic inches. So the gallons cancel out. 4 times 231, 924. Cubic inches, 1 times 1 is 1. The 4 gallons is just 924 cubic inches. Number 15, 3 cubic feet. We're going to put cubic feet on bottom. 1 cubic foot is 1,728 cubic inches. Cubic feet cancel. 3 times 1728. 5,184 cubic inches. 1 times 1 is 1, so it's 5,184 cubic inches. 7 tons into pounds. Put 7 tons over 1. Put a ton on bottom. 2,000 pounds. Remember we said for this class, a ton's always going to be 2,000 pounds. Tons cancel out. 7 times 2,000 is 14,000 pounds. 8.3 liters going into milliliters. We got liters, deciliters, centiliters, milliliters. From liters to milliliters is 3 spots to the right. So I move my decimal point 3 spots to the right, filling in zeros. That's 8,300 milliliters. Finally, number 18, 9 pounds. Going into ounces. Put pounds on bottom. 1 pound is 16 ounces. Pounds cancel out. 9 times 16 is 144 ounces. Any questions on either of those? Okay. I just wanted to take some time to review those before we got into anything new today. Our new concept for today is actually relatively straightforward, but it's one that a lot of people do struggle with. I'm going to ask you to convert to the nearest 16th of an inch. And so I'm going to start off with something like 4 1/5 feet. So it's an awkward fraction of feet. And I want that converted into inches, just flat out inches for this one. So for each problem, I'll tell you what the units are that I want it in. But in all of them, we are going to round to the nearest 16th of an inch once we convert. So I have 4 1/5 feet. First thing I need to do, or I'm going to want to do, is I could change it into decimal feet if I wanted to, but it really doesn't make a difference. We'll put it over 1, and we're going to convert it into inches because we're asking for our answer all in inches here. So 1 foot is 12 inches. Our feet cancel out. So we have 4 1/5. 4 plus 1 divided by 5 is 4 1/5, or 4.2, times 12, which is going to be 50.4. So we have 50.4 inches here. we need to convert that to the nearest 16th of an inch. To do that, we keep the 50. The part in front of the decimal point is not going to change. So there's going to be 50 in our answer for whole inches. It's that 0.4 that we need to work with. If you recall, what we do to turn that to the nearest 16th is we put it over 1. We turn the 1 into a 16th by multiplying it by 16. We multiply the numerator by 16 as well. 0.4 times 16 is 6.4. So that 6.4 over 16 is telling us that this is between 6/16 and 7/16. Well, 6.4 is closer to 6. So that is 6/16, which will reduce to 3/8. So that 4 1/5 feet converted to inches to the nearest 16th of an inch is 50 3/8 inches. We're going to assume for right now that all of these are going to the nearest 16th of an inch, so I don't have to rewrite that. Well, let's take something like 7 and... let's do... 6th won't work really well, will they? Let's do 7 and 2/9 feet. And we're going to convert that just into inches again. So again, we'll start out with my 7 2/9 feet. We'll put it over 1. And I'm going to multiply by the conversion factor, 1 foot on bottom, 12 inches on top. But the feet cancel out. So 7 2/9. Again, to enter that in my calculator, if you have the fraction calculator, you can just do the 7 ABC 2 ABC 9. Or I can just do 7 plus 2 divided by 9. Puts it in my calculator as a decimal. You can see I get the 7.222222. Times 12 is 86.666666. So I'm just going to write down 86.667 inches for now. Now, just like before, the part that's in front of the decimal is my whole inches, 86. That's going to be part of my answer. It's that 0.6667 inches that I need to work with. I'm going to put it over 1 right now to make it a fraction, but I want it to be the nearest 16th. So I'm going to multiply by 16 to turn the 1 into a 16. 0.667 times 16 is 10.667, I believe. It is 10.667. So it's telling me that it is between 10/16 and 11/16. 10.6 is closer to the 11 than it is the 10. So that's 86 inches and 86 and 11/16 inches. I might want something like, well, I'm going to have you guys try one of these in your notes here quick. Let's do 5 3/10 feet. I'm just going to have you convert that to inches to the nearest 16th of an inch. So we do our 5 3/10 feet over 1. 1 foot is 12 inches. 5 3/10 times 12 is 63.6 inches. So we're going to keep our 63. Take the 0.6 over 1. We're going to multiply by 16 to turn that into sixteenths. 0.6 times 16 is 9.6. That's telling us we are between 9 and 10 sixteenths. 9.6 is closer to 10 sixteenths. 10 sixteenths reduces to 5/8. 63 and 5/8 inches. Excuse me. Next, I want to look at something like let's do 4 and 8/15 feet. But this time, I want it converted into, still going to the nearest 16th of an inch, but I want it split into feet and inches. Well, this is pretty simple for the feet in this one. I'm just taking the 4 off. That is my whole feet. The 8/15 is still in feet, but it's less than a whole foot. That's the part that I'm going to convert to inches. So 1 foot is 12 inches. My feet cancel out. I have 8/15 times 12 gives me 6.4 inches. Now again, I'm going to take off the whole number, the 6 whole inches. And that 0.4 is going to get converted into sixteenths. Now we've done this one before. 1 times 16 is 16. 0.4 times 16 is 6.4. So again, that's between 6 sixteenths and 7 sixteenths. Closer to the 6. 6 sixteenths, which reduces to 3/8. Says 4 feet, 6 3/8 inches if I want it split up into feet and inches in sixteenths. In your notes, I want you to try to take 7 and 8/9 feet, and I want that into feet and inches to the nearest 16th of an inch. I'll give you a minute, then we'll go over it. So we're going to take off the 7 whole feet, and we're going to do the 8/9 of a foot. Put it over 1. 1 foot equals 12 inches. We've got 8/9 times 12. It's 10.667 inches. So we take off the 10 whole inches there, and it's the 0.6667 that we're going to convert to sixteenths. 1 times 16 is 16. 0.667 times 16 is 10.667, which is 11 sixteenths. So it's 7 foot, 10 and 11 sixteenths. And we could even go up to 3 units with this. We might have something like 13 and 1. No, that ain't going to work out real well. We'll do 13 and 1/9 yard. Let's say I want to split this up into yards, feet, and inches. Well, I'm just going to take the whole number off the yards. The 13 yards is my 13 yards. My 1/9 yard is going to get converted into feet. 1 yard is 3 feet. Well, 1/9 times 3 feet is 1/3 of a foot. So that's 0 whole feet. There are no whole feet there, so it's 0 whole feet for that one. And then I'm going to take my 1/3 foot and convert it into inches. So 1 foot is 12 inches. Oops, I should have been just over 1 here, not over 12. 1 foot is 12 inches, so the feet cancel out. 1/3 times 12 is 4 inches. So that 13 and 1/9 yard is 13 yards, 0 feet, 4 inches. Now we might have something like 7 and, let's do 7 5/8 yards. And let's do that as to yards, feet, and inches. So again, I'm just going to pull the whole number off. My 7 becomes my 7 yards. My 5/8 yards has to be converted. So 5/8 yards over 1. 1 yard is 3 feet. And my yards cancel out. 5/8 times 3. 1.875. Very good. Feet. Well, I'll take the 1 off of that. That's 1 whole foot. And I'm going to do my 0.875 feet into inches. 1 foot is 12 inches. 0.875 times 12. 10.5 inches. So we've got the 10 whole inches there. Now the 0.5 inch we can probably guess is going to be half an inch. But let's do the conversion anyway. 1 times 16 is 16. 0.5 times 16 is 8. So that is 8 sixteenths, which reduces to half an inch. So 7 and 5/8 yards become 7 yards, 1 foot, 10.5 inches. This is a little bit of a trickier conversion, but it is very useful in some applications. So in your notes, I want you to try 8 7/10 yards. Give that to me in yards, feet, and inches, please. We're going to start out with the 8 yards. We're just going to take that off. 7/10 of a yard. We're going to convert that using that 1 yard equals 3 feet. So 3 times 7/10 is 2.1 feet. I take the 2 off of that. Take my 0.1 feet. Add in inches. 1 foot is 12 inches. 0.1 foot times 0.1 times 12 inches is going to give us 1.2 inches. That's going to be 1 whole inch. And then we take the 0.2 over 1 and we'll convert it to sixteenths. 1 times 16 is 16. 0.2 times 16 is 3.2. So 3.2 sixteenths is between 3 sixteenths and 4 sixteenths. 3.2 is closer to 3 sixteenths. That's 8 yards, 2 feet, 1 and 3 sixteenths inches. Any questions there? Okay, we're going to let you out of here with no homework today. You guys have a good one. We'll see you tomorrow.
recording